I love my job so much, I'll do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Ultimate test of patience. And shiny. Poor thing's covered. Money shot. All right, everybody. Hello. Good day to you. Welcome back. This is part 2 or 3. I haven't decided yet. Of this Ford F150. In the last single or multiple episodes, I pretty much, well, I rebuilt the entire rear axle on this and upgraded the differential with an Eaton limited slip. We changed out the bearings, all the seals, bearings here, bearings there, bearings on the inside, cleaned everything out, got fluid in it. The rear axle is done. We're moving forward. We have completed the teardown portion on the front side. I have to get this differential out of the truck, so I've got to lower this thing down. I had to pull the front end off just to get the axles out. And this one's out over here. The other one's removed completely. I've got a straight shot at the bolts that hold this differential in on the passenger side. Over here on the driver's side, it's a different story. We got one bolt up there, which I can get to, but then there's another one way, way, way up there. See that guy right there? Now that bolt holds the top of the differential to the frame. Problem is I don't know if I can get it out because there's a steering gear in the way right here. Dirt. There's more dirt, and there's a steering gear right here. So I don't know if this bolt is going to sneak past this gear or if I've got to remove the steering gear or at least drop it down. So what I'm going to do is go up there with this ratcheting wrench and attempt to get this guy to come out at first. If I can get it out and sneak the differential out, then we're good, and maybe I can squeeze it down through this hole without pulling the steering gear out. If I've got to pull the rack out of it, then so be it, but I'm gonna unclick this and try really hard to not remove any more components, because I pretty much have this truck disassembled on my rack. Like I said, this is day 2. I've been on this thing for quite a while, and I'm a little eager to get it done. So just like in the first video, I'm gonna move very quickly. I'm probably going to skip around a bunch, so sorry for that, but like I said before, I can't make an 8-hour or a 10-hour long video, so we're going to do some bouncing around, but I'm going to try my best to keep everybody up to date on what's happening here. So warning, incoming loud noises. I'm going to go over here to the front side and try to impact these big bolts out of here. Loud! Oh, that was stupid loud. And the gun's not going to take the thing off. Shoo. Let's try the ratchet. Get a little worn out. All right. Gravity. Ray gravity. Oh, it's not going to budge. I don't have any more weight. Okay, I don't weigh enough. Hey, you know what? That's fine. We'll just add a mechanical advantage here. And we'll breaker bar this ratchet. Yeah. Unclick. It's tight. Probably not so tight. These things are loaded with thread lock. Yeah. All right. Now, loud noises. You gonna work? Come out. Huge bolt. Look at that thing. Okay. Now, let me see if I can't maneuver this steering gear enough. No, that's not going to work. I have to disconnect it completely. It needs to go over this direction. Okay, now I've got clearance for that bolt up top over there. There's absolutely no space for my extremities, the bolt and these parts to all fit in the same area with the camera. So you guys are just over there kind of looking at me while I'm looking up here. That's the best I can do. This is a remarkably difficult job overall, and it's even more difficult to film. And it's even more difficult to film and do a good job, which I don't know if I'm doing yet, but when I go to edit, I'll find out. Whew. Tired. Still wiggling around. I think I got it. Yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out. Move. There it is. That's the evil bolt of this differential. That one. All right, let's move around to the back side of the diff here, and we have to get to that bolt right up there. Let's get that one out next. So again, I don't know if you guys are gonna have like the slightest chance to see what's happening in there. I'm trying to squeeze the tool in to get that out. Loud. Ow. Sounds like it's moving. Sure. Free? Maybe? Well, I mean, it's out. Okay, that little guy's not wanting to come out freely. I need to take some weight off the diff, so I'm down here with the trans jack. I thought I could get that one out without jacking this up, but it appears that the weight is just too strong. So we'll take the weight off and then see if I can't get that bolt to come out. Kinda, maybe. Is it gonna work? A little bit more weight. Ah, there we go. A little bit less weight. Go down some. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, moving on over. There's one more right up yonder. Let's get that guy unclicked. Loud noises. Give it back to me. Oh, there. Got it. And that's our finger chopper offer fastener. Save that for later. Okay. Got it. Okay, the unit up there should be free. Let's go ahead and let this thing down and see if we can't squeeze it out through that little space there between the steering gear and the frame. I still might have to pull the steering gear all the way out. Maybe. I don't really want to, but what I want and what was that? That was noisy. What I want and what reality dictates are going to be two different things on most occasions. Okay, we're already hung up on some stuff here. There's some vacuum lines. Let's get that unplugged. It's not what we're hung up on, but I don't want to forget it. There we go. Oh, we're loose now. Yeah, that thing's very loose now. A little further down. More down. The idea is it's going to rotate clockwise from your point of view, and it should slide out from between or behind this rack. Should, maybe, possibly. My goal is to do this without dropping it. I mean, it's not that heavy, but it is a little bit awkward. Can't see anything. There she comes. A little farther down. Yeah, we're stuck again. Right there is good, sir. Just set her down. Thank you very much. That's my lubricant for the rear end. We're gonna need that later. Otherwise, I'll blow up that brand new gear set I just put in, and that would be very bad. All right, we're stuck. It's getting wedged. The steering gear is wedged in. And fatigue. There's a little nut sticking out or something, and I need to get it on top. There we go. Yeah, now we're going. More down action. We're stuck again. Now, if I drop this, I'm gonna run. I'm not saving it. Just saying. It's like, it's almost out of here. This is intense. Push that steering gear up. Go up and away so I can bring this over and near. There we go. A little bit more down action. And I'll wiggle it some. I should have pulled the steering gear out. This might be possible, but that doesn't mean it's easier. I totally should have pulled the steering gear out. It's okay. No, next time I just need to ratchet strap it higher up. That's what I'll do. Okay. Coming down, all the way down. Okay, I've got the unit. It's supported, secure. I'm gonna let gravity bring it down until it stops, and then I'll adjust this. There we go. And it's leaking fluid through that vacuum vent tube thing at the top there. See that? And no, I couldn't drain it. There's no drain hole in this, so this is what we got to deal with. She's still full of fluid, but there's no drain, so I'm gonna go ahead and start to take these cover bolts loose, and then we'll drop this thing inside of the oil drain pan for a moment while we crack the case open and we'll get all the fluid drained out of this, and we'll start changing out those parts. I've never done a diff replacement on this style of axle before, so this should be a new one for me. Not working. The wobbly is taking up my torque. And the Loctite's handling the rest. Oh, that one's stuck. Now it's unstuck. Now it's stuck again. What am I doing? Alright, let's transfer this into an oil drain. We'll pull the rest of this cover off and get the fluid out of there. Okay, I've rolled up my oil drain pan right here. I kind of wish I had a transmission service table to do this on, but I don't, so I'm doing it off the side of my toolbox. But next time. Next time. There we go. Differential in a drain pan. Look at that. I think I'm putting a lot of faith into this drain pan right here. Like a lot. Probably gonna ruin it. One more over here. Okay, that's all the bolts, and it looks like it's already starting to leak out of there. Now let's help it out. Oh, that's not, I broke my screwdriver. I picked it up thinking it was a pry driver, and it's now it's just a nub. So we'll use pry bar. Yeah, let's see if I can't pluck this cover off with this little angular pry bar right here. Let's do this without soaking myself in differential oil. This is less dramatic than how it usually is. Usually we get a nice slow-mo of the drain, but not this time. Oh, I didn't mention it. I actually found a few metal fragments in that rear diff, but I did a lot of high-speed, super fast motion on that one. because we were doing some construction in here and there was too many loud noises. All right, so this mess is not gonna get any smaller, so we're gonna go ahead and just get some towels here to absorb all the nasty. That diff looks really good too. Unclick. Where'd that other one go? There it is. And another. How are we doing here? Check them out. Sure is. Okay, that's our intermediate shaft right there. We'll just set this aside. Got bearings and seals for that. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we're just trying to pull this differential out. So, we'll go back in there with curvy pry bar. And it doesn't want to budge. Well, what are we doing here? Oh. You gonna come out? Man, the preload on this thing is intense. This guy does not want to come out of here. I've been fiddling with it for a while. It's in there. It moved a little bit. I got a little bit of motion out of it, but I had to put a pry bar on it and just kind of hit it with a hammer. So I'm gonna have to work this thing for a while to get it to come out. Bunch of that kind of stuff. I'll be back when this thing's out. Stand by. You know, if I can't pry this thing out, maybe I can push it out. Let's try that. Let's I'm gonna unbolt the pinion and we'll pull this we'll pull the yoke out of it and then and see if we can't get it to push out by using the pinion. That might work. Let us try this next. Loud noises. There we go. Okay, here's how I'm going to do this. We'll put a steering wheel puller over top of this guy, and we'll thread a couple bolts into it. These are the bolts that actually bolt the drive shaft onto this yoke right here, so we know that the threads are good and that the pitch is accurate. Differential gravity. Come here. Screw this guy in, and as I tighten the center shaft, it will pull on the yoke and pull it off of the pinion. Right about right there. 19 millimeters. Okay. Well, good. Then I can use the impact gun. Oop, the wrong way. The right way. Here it comes. Beautiful. Okay, got the air driver again. Let's see if we can't push this pinion out, which in turn will push the differential out. Yep, that's working like a charm. Is it out? Almost. A lot of preload that was on these bearings. I guess this one takes a lot of preload. Who knew? It's an aluminum case too. Got to be super careful. It's aluminum. Okay, let's see. Let's get our pinion. Oh, the pinion's not ready to come out yet. Hang on. More tappy taps with our impact, and that pinion will be done falling out of the thing. Let's take the nut off. There's our pinion. Wow, that case weighs nothing without a bunch of gears inside of it. How about that? Alright, a little bit of Ziz wheel action. I'm going to clean up all the sealant that's on these surfaces here and just kind of prep this case for reassembly. Okie doke, let's clean off all this silicone sealant dust and get this thing prepped a little bit further. Compressor powering down. Nothing too crazy here. I don't have an oil drain under me, so I need to mop up whatever I dump out here. So like I said, nothing crazy. Gonna spray it out slightly. Get all the debris. Goodbye, debris. Very nice. Pull up the oil drain can again and dump the stuff out right here. Goodbye. That was weird. The brake clean was gray colored. It's like aluminum colored. It's a new one. Alright guys, so I've got the new pinion here. We've got the races installed for the pinion. It has the new bearing. So let's go ahead and start getting this thing reassembled and put back together. So over here on the front side, let's turn this again so we can see what we're working with. So the pinion's coming through. I'm gonna go ahead and get our, whoa, it's falling over. Let's get our front bearing in there. Actually, let's get the bearing in there, the new crush sleeve, the little splash washer thing, and then we can get the seal on, and then and the yoke in the box. Oh, this isn't cool. It came with 2 crush washers in this thing. That means I might have to do this more than once. It's never a good sign when you get extra parts with your new parts kit. It alludes to a level of difficulty that you might not be prepared for. And this truck has definitely provided me that difficulty. We're in the home stretch where so my stress is starting to go down a little bit, but I've been pretty amped up over this truck this week. Okay. Yes, the seal is not in. I'll do that later. I'm gonna go ahead and spline in the yoke, and then I'll use the bolts to run everything in. Is that the right bolt? No way, not even close. This is the right bolt. Yes way. And I'm wondering if this crush washer will crush under the brute force of my impact gun. The one in the rear did not, and I had to lever pry bar it. Alright, we're bottomed out in the crush washer, but you see all that motion there? We still have to set this up a little tighter and then preload it. I'm going to pull this back off again. Differential gravity. We'll pull it back off again, then I can drive that seal on there. It came off easier the second time. And you see it's not going to want to move because the washer, or I'm sorry, the outer pinion bearing has been run down the shaft, and it's a semi-press fit. So that thing should stay put while we do the rest of the work on the snout here. Okay, new seal. Let's turn this up on end. We can drive that seal in. Dead blow should handle it with no issue. 2 words, seal driver. I have a seal driver. This right here, it's driving the seal. Okay, I'll throw a little bit of grease on that seal and on those splines just for good measure. Couldn't hurt. Okay, let's spin this around again and start working on the hard part here. We need to get the differential in place, and we need to drive it in without tearing up the case right here, because it's very easy to damage aluminum, especially when you're jamming steel parts into it. But we need to drive that thing in without damaging the case, make sure we've got a good preload, and then we'll get it back in the truck. Quick clean out of this new side bearing. That's for the CB axle to ride on. Let's go ahead and clean that out real quick, like. I didn't film driving that in and out. It's, like I said earlier, there's a lot of stuff I've got to skip, guys, so if it's meticulous and annoying, I kind of skip it. It is what it is. Anyway, there's a new seal. Get in there, please. Or I'll use the press on you. That'd be something, right? Using a bearing press on a seal. Smooth. That's just beautiful. All right, we're coming up on the moment. Here comes our new differential. It's got the gear set already installed. It's been torqued. I've got the bearings pressed on. We've got the races. We've got the shims. Let's see how this bad unit's gonna fit. Is it gonna be super tight and I need to re-shim it? Or is it gonna be super loose and I need to re-shim it? I don't know. But we're gonna figure out. It's actually, it feels a little loose. Here, we'll turn it up and let gravity do our bidding. What do you say? Yeah, it's actually a little tight now. That shim's starting to line up. Okay. Alright, moving along. 5 disassemblies later. To get this thing clearanced properly, I had to take the pinion out twice and re-shim it twice. And then I had to pull the differential out, I think 2 or 3 more times, because I had to move it over about 18 thousandths that way. It wasn't getting the right backlash, it wasn't getting good gear clearance, and there was just way too much preload on everything, so I had to take it all down and redo it again. We have fast forwarded, we're moving on to our gear paint section of this repair. We're just gonna double check the pattern real quick, and then we can put that intermediate shaft thing back on and work on getting this thing back in the car. Woohoo! All right, so this is gonna work just like all the other gear paint endeavors. We're just gonna put some on 3 or 4 of these gears. We're gonna rotate it around, and we're just gonna observe the pattern that the pinion is leaving on the ring gear. We wanna look for a good, nice oval centered on the gear, both on the heel side and the drive side. So we're gonna paint both sides, spin it around, run it past the pinion. The pinion will pick up the paint, it'll rub it off of these gears, and it'll deposit it onto another gear, so we get to have 2 versions of the paint marks. I'm just gonna brush that on nice and even, like trying to even out all of those brush marks and whatnot. That should be good. Okay, okie doke, so I'm gonna turn this thing, and I've got to move the snout towards me so I can manipulate it. So I'm reaching around, hanging on to the differential, and I think we need to do we're gonna do the drive side first, which is that way. So we'll just take this thing, spin it around. Again, I'm hanging on to the gear or the differential carrier in an effort to create a little bit of friction so so the pinion can pick up that paint. Okay, we've passed the paint. Let's see what it looks like here. I didn't do a very good job. All right, backing up, let's do it again. Uh-oh, look at that. See our marks right here? We are way off, so I've gotta reset this up again if something's not right. I need to move this pattern back in here to the middle of this gear. See how we've got the pattern right here on the edge and it's pulling paint from the edge. This is not set up properly. Do it again, attempt number 6. Okay, set it up 2 more times and now we're finally getting better. I actually had to drastically move this thing over about 30 thousandths. It was just not even close. But we can see here we've got a decent pattern showing up on the paint. I love my job so much, I'll do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Ultimate test of patience. And shiny. Poor thing's covered in paint. Money shot, covered in paint. Nada! Okie dokes, moving on. We're about ready to fit the cover on here. I've already cleaned it off and got rid of the old sealant. We're going to install the new Yukon sealant that came with the kit. We're going to get that on the cover and we'll get this cover bolted on. So let's get going.
The devil nodded off because he knew that he was stoned. He asked if he could bounce the stuff that Johnny owned. Back, if you ever want to catch a buzz, I done told you once, you son. It's not the best there ever was. And they fired up babies one by one. Ain't gonna stop till the bag is done. Green as a bullfrog to gas blue. Ready to...
For the record, this sealant is quite stinky. Quite stinky indeed. Okay, I'm lining up the holes visually and contact right here. Let's avoid letting the thing slide all over all willy-nilly like, because that'll smear my sealant. That would be bad. Let's go ahead and get all these guys started right here. Missing 2 bolts. Where's my 2 bolts? I don't know. But I'll find them. I found them. They were in the oil drain canister. Remember when I took this lid off and I did it inside of the can? That's where they ended up. That one took me a minute. I had to think back on what I was doing. Alright, so far so good. Let's go ahead and get this thing installed. I've decided to not put the intermediate shaft on this until it's in the vehicle because this thing was kind of hard to wrestle out of there with that steering gear in the way, so I'm going to try to put it in without installing the intermediate shaft, and then I can put the shaft in later. Dated. Alright, so I've busted out the head camera. You guys are attached to my forehead right now. Figure I don't need to be messing around with trying to mount this camera. This is going to be kind of hard to wiggle this thing into where it's supposed to go. Probably going to tear these gloves instantaneously, but you know, it's worth a shot. Alright, come on, differential. Oh, it's heavy when there's parts installed. There we go. Alright, back over onto the trans jack. Yeah, I know, I could have rolled the trans jack over there, but it's not that heavy, so we're good here. So I'm going to maneuver this thing back down below under the vehicle and without dropping it. And what we'll do is we'll raise it up and get it up into its home there. We'll nuzzle it past this steering gear and then we'll get it bolted back into position. All right, jack moving on up. So all I've really got to do is get this thing up into its home there. Oh, that's nasty. It's got There's fluid leaking. That happened last night. It was running out of that differential. Yes, I know that doesn't belong rolled up in the corner. It was badly damaged in the wind, and I have yet to dispose of that. That's the reason it's in the corner and not in the trash, is because it will be properly disposed of. That's just how it is. There. Put some paper towels on that thing and we're good. All right, continuing to move back up. I think I'll turn it. That's how it came out, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of standing up on end. Ooh, that's sketchy. Oh, there. Hope you guys can see what's going on here. I feel bad if I do all this work and you can't see what I'm up to. That would moderately upset me. Let's see if I can't just shove this thing in. Nope. I don't think I have the stamina today, not after rebuilding or removing and replacing these gears on this thing like 6 times. I'm a little fatigued. It's a lot of work. Why aren't we doing anything? What is problem? Problem is lack of space. There. Okay, it's in its home. That's where it lives. Let's bring it up all the way as far as we can really get it, and then I'll get those bolts installed. Trying to line up that top ear, the one with the top bolt. That was the hardest to do, so I'm trying to do that one first. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's close. We're getting close. Move around to this side here. Oops. I think you guys were hitting a flashlight. Sorry. We're almost in there. It's super close. That little, that top mount is sliding into the ear on the frame. I just felt that go in. And it needs to go that way about 2 more inches. And we should be all set. Well, we're back on that bolt again on the top here. Slowly working it in. We've got this one in, and then there's the one that's like right back there. That one's in. As soon as I get these threaded a bunch, I'm gonna go ahead and get that intermediate shaft on the passenger side installed. And then we can lock this thing down and bolt the steering gear back in. Hooray! Alright, so that one's bottomed out. It's not tight yet, but it will be. Let me get you guys out of here. And we'll go around to this back side and get that other big bolt that runs in, the one that's up there. See that one there? That one's next. I think I can get it. Yeah, I can get it with this, with the wobbly. Okay, that one's in. Let's let the jack down. We still may need it, so I'm not gonna come down all the way. Oh, you guys didn't see I had a I had a fuel filter spacer installed. I was using that to press up on the diff so I could get the angle proper. Now, seeing as how that top bolt is in, and that's kind of the one that's hard to reach, I can go ahead and get the steering gear kind of reinstalled. I've got the bolts in right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and run those down. Loud noises. There's one of them. Loud. Click. Loud clicks. So you saw earlier it took a breaker bar thing to get those to come loose, and I'm gonna do the same thing to make them tight again. We're going to breaker bar them, or floor jack stand handle. That's what I said. Where is the floor jack? It's gone. Ah, there it is. Outside, right where I left it. Good. All right, we're not gonna get too crazy. I'm just gonna emulate what it was like to remove them. So we'll do like how about 60 degrees? That felt good. You guys are wondering why I'm not breaking this ratchet. And the reason this ratchet doesn't break is because it's awesome. There we go. So I need a few minutes here to clean this thing off, and I gotta toss a bearing in it and a seal, and then we can get this thing installed. Okie dokes, we're all cleaned up. Let us get some sealant around this guy right here, and we'll go ahead and get this installed on the differential, and then we can get that whole assembly buttoned up and bolted back in. Then we move on to the task of reassembling shmoo leakage. We move on to the task of reassembling all the suspension stuff. Okay. I need to get that out of here. Look at that. There's lubricant in there. And if that doesn't come out, it's gonna leak. Well, maybe not, but still, we do not need lubricant right there. There we go. We need sealant right there. It was fun digging it all out of that little groove that's machined into this thing. There we go. All right, we're coming in. Here's our intermediate. Let's slide that through and get it into the axle. Well, differential rather. And oh, how are we gonna do this here? Go on. Go in. There we go. Maybe a couple love taps. Okay, let's turn this so it's oriented properly. And what I'm going to do is see if I can't get a couple bolts started, just so it doesn't rotate, which I can't yet. Gotta push it in a little farther. Hang on. Idea. Just air hammer it some. Okay. Now, can I get a bolt started? Yep. There we go, there's one. There's the other one. Good. One more up top. That one's hard to reach. There we go. Okay, let's look left and up a little bit. It's tough to see up here, but I've got the other bolt on the side of the shaft going in. We'll run that thing in. We'll get the finger chopper off or nutter. That guy, we'll get that thing on. And then we can bolt this unit in place. And you know what, while we're here, off to the right, there's that vacuum hose. I'm just gonna go ahead and plug that guy in right now. That way I don't forget. Or vent hose, that's what it is. It might be the vent. There. Connected. All right, let's get some torque going in here. Yeah, that's, why isn't that gonna fit? Ah, you know what? I took it out when this thing was loose. Now it's in the way. My tool does not fit. That's fine now. We'll go in with a smaller tool. It's the wrong size. Clicks. There we go. Now we're getting tight. That's good. Hey, while we're here, fit the CV axle over the intermediate shaft. While we're here, you know. Good. That's on. And I'm putting some torque on that top bolt, the one that's mounting the frame, or mounting the top of the diff to the frame. Again, that thing run down, and then we'll get the one on the back. Oh, wrench snippage. Okay. There, that one's tight. All right, one more in the back, and we'll get the suspension together. Okay, we are back in forehead cam mode again. I'm ready to go ahead and get the CV axle installed. Once that thing's done, I can bolt the strut back on, because I had to remove the strut on this side from the bottom control arm in order to squeeze the thing out. So once I get that back on, then I can go ahead and get the knuckle and everything back together. Sound like a plan? I think it does. Nothing clean? Nope. Here. Now it's clean. Very good. Get in there, please. I hope this forehead cam thing works out. Oh, get in there. All right, axle's in. Now, let's slide the strut back into its home. Pry bar. Pry driver. That's good there. 2 bolts up from the bottom. 1 bolt up from the bottom. Can you guys see down in that hole? Hope so. Okay, that one's started. And bolt number 2. Oh, that one lined up too. That was quite fortuitous. That means lucky. I think those were 16 mil bolts. Yeah. Where's my 16? It's over here. Click. Okay. All right, next up we need to get the knuckle in position, so let's take our little hub locker, slide that on. Right there is where she goes. And we've got our upper control arm bolt here, nut. Where's the one for the lower? There it is. On the control arm, very good. So we'll slide that in. There's our lower ball joint. Bolt it on. Tight as I can. That will bring it up as high as I can get it to go, which is pretty good. Now this upper control arm here. This will be a little fun. push it up. There. Whew, okay. No. Impact gun over here. I have everything that I own removed from the toolbox. Like, it's all out and on. Nothing is in. I've got almost everything out in triplicate for this job. It's crazy. Loud noises. Click. Same situation on the bottom here. Okay, that thing is secure. Now, what do I need to do? Hub bearings. We have new hub bearings. Let's go fetch one of them. Yep, right here, Timken replacement front hub bearings for 4-wheel drive with wheel speed sensor included. That's kind of cool. All right, sensor goes up at the top. Put that back there for right now. Stay. There's that fourth one. That's 2. It's 3. And number 4. Okay, hub is secure. That's the nut for the CV axle, so the axle cannot come out of the hub. And 4-wheel drive assembly. Let's see, we need a 13 for that. And I believe right here. Clicks. All right, you stay there. Stay there. We've got a couple 8mm bolts. 3 exactly. Those are securing this locking assembly to the back of the spindle. So I'll thread those guys in manually. And then we'll tighten them down with a ratchet. Get on there, please. What are you doing? Okay. Get on there. It's not tight yet. I think after I get this guy fastened down, let's see, we've got a vacuum line assembly to hook up, and then I can do the backing plate. Oh, socket gravity. As I was saying, and there is a backing plate. And these little 8mm bolts do not get torqued to the hilt, just snug them up. Whoa, phone tubes. Where is that vacuum line? Is it hiding? It is hiding. Okay, here, let's put this bracket on, because this bracket hangs onto that vacuum line. And the ABS or the wheel speed sensor, so I want to go ahead and get those mounted straight away. That goes there. That fell down. Here's our vacuum line going on. You look at it from one side, you're blind. You look at it from the other side, and it's too dark. This is the old wheel speed sensor. Here's the new one. I'm just following along the chain and connecting the new one where I just disconnected the old one. That way I don't get them, get the routing improper. You know, go around the wrong way or something like that. That one plugs in there, and then right up here, that's the connector. See that up there? All right, old one out, new one connected. Very good. Okay, now that the sensor's installed, let's get our backing plate in. This is the bracket for the wheel speed sensor. Let's get our rotor on there and hang the caliper bracket. Let's get this guy in. There. Now we can kind of see what we're doing here. 21. Come tightened. Brake pads. This looks like it was the outboard pad. Put the shim back. Oh, you guys, it appears that the GoPro camera battery has died in the middle of all that, so fast forwarding. This is why I don't like the head cam, because I can't see what's going on. Anyway, fast forwarding, I've got the caliper bolted on, the brakes are in, I lubed the pins, pads are in, the axle is tight, upper control arm, lower control arm, tie rod, and likewise on the other side there. So all I need to do now is get that skid panel on, get fluid in both of these differentials, hang the wheels, and we'll be ready to hit the road real quick for a test drive. So stand by. I'm gonna go ahead and get all that stuff done real quick since it's less than interesting, and I'll see you guys once this thing's on the ground. Okie dokes, wheels are on. Front axle has oil, rear axle does not. I need to get some mess cleaned up out of the way, and we'll let this thing down and hit the road real quick. Woo! Home stretch time, fellas. We're in the home stretch. Man, I thought this moment was never gonna come. I've been 3 days on this thing. 3 days and a few hours of prep time because I ended up assembling all the components before I started here. It's been quite a task. I don't think I ever want to do this again. Yeah, even though I just did it over there on the Jeep like a couple weeks ago. And I did another one on this thing, but yeah, these are not my favorite type of jobs. I'm gonna try to avoid these in the future. Look, we're gonna have to have like a 7-point turn to get out of here. I'm stuck. Need to back the Jeep up some more. Let's kick it out wide. There we go. I moved her over some. Now we're good. Thing's no longer beeping at me, telling me I'm going to have a collision. All right, we're clear. Man, that sun's bright. There. Now we can look at that. That's better. Okay, it's the next day. I have not test driven this truck yet because it was dark last night and I didn't want to drive it in the dark. So I'm driving it today. So here we go. Let's hit the road. It's a cloudy, non-sunshiny Florida day. It's about 65 degrees outside. Really nice. Kind of windy though. Now I believe that this truck came factory with 373 gears. And I put in 456 gears, so that's a lot deeper of a gear ratio. I'm curious to see how this thing performs. I can't get on it and kind of ride out to its fullest potential because there's supposed to be a break-in period. You have to take it very gently. I'm basically headed out just to check for stupid noises and things of that nature. I believe we're in good shape, but again, we have to take it very easy. Not supposed to get the gears super hot or put a huge load on them, which we are not. Now the only way I'm really going to be able to hear for some gear noise is to get up to some speed. So we're going to get onto the semi-big road here and stretch our legs out a little bit. If this car is going to go, can we go? Just do it. Oh, you could have went. You could have went. Haha, we're off. Let's gain some speed. I just remembered that I did not put the wheel lock key back in this truck. I just remember that it's at work somewhere. Well, so far so good. All I hear is the tire sound. I do not hear differential or gear noise, and that's awesome. I was a little nervous about that because it did take me 8 times to set up that front differential. It was just not cooperating. I could not get the gear pattern to look good. And it wasn't just the one gear. I had to set pinion depth a couple times, and then I had to adjust the position of the differential to get the proper pattern. It was rough. I had a hard time. Not fun. Green light. We're not actually doing 80. I'm doing like 55. Yeah, that's quite a big gear ratio change. We're gonna need to get into this thing with ForeScan and reprogram the new ratio. That way the speedometer is accurate, because that is way off. We're not going that fast. But yeah, again, I hear no gear noise, nothing on Excel, nothing on decel. I'm gonna go ahead and flip a UE, head back to the shop, clean this thing up, get the wheel lock key, put back in the back seat where I found it, and I'm gonna call this one good. So all that being said, thank you guys for sticking with me through this odyssey. This was quite an endeavor, or quite a feat, quite a task. Managed to get it done in 3.5 days, which is 0.5 days longer than I had anticipated, but it also gave me about 5 times the amount of problems I anticipated. So I'm good with that. I'm glad it's over. Probably not going to do this job again, ever. So, all that being said, as always, thank you guys for watching this video. And most importantly, don't forget to have yourselves a great day. See you guys later. Indeferred.